Welcome to a video on the community's top 10 mods for Rome Total War. Now, a survey was sent out with 10 different mods listed and people had to rank them, first being the best, 10th being the worst. Now, every single mod that is on this list, just because it's got 10th place, it's still 10th place out of all the mods in the world. So just because it's at the bottom does not mean it's bad at all. I just want to make that very clear. Now, how were these 10 mods chosen? Well, I was asking people on my Discord what some of their favourite mods are. They had to give me a list of a few names, and the names that showed up the most were put onto this survey. So, there's going to be mods on here that you do like, but have not even appeared on this list. What that means is that no one at the time of me asking suggested that mod to me. No one thought on my Discord server that that mod was good enough to be on this list. But maybe it should have been, maybe it shouldn't have been, I don't know. Everyone's got their own separate opinions. Basically what I'm trying to say is, don't get angry at me or blame me, it's your fault, the community's fault. You put them here, blame me. Fight amongst yourselves in the comment section is what I'm trying to say, but... You know what, let's just start the video. Number 10. Is the Extended Cultures mod. This mod here comes with a variety of campaigns, with different maps, many more units added, loads of different factions, and overall it's more just a massive extension mod. All of these will of course be linked down in the description below. This mod, however, is very new. It came out actually just last December on Christmas Day, I think. So it's a very new mod, and maybe that's why it got so low on this list. It got some suggestions, but I'm guessing like a load of people haven't heard of it yet, because really it has only just come out like 2 months ago. Number 9. Vanilla Enhancement mod. The objective of this mod was to just create the normal vanilla Rome Total War, but just extend onto it, enhance it, add some extra units, a bit more detail, expand the map, but have it still have that Rome Total War feel. And that's actually my favourite kind of mod. It just enhances the vanilla experience. For example, if Rome Total War is the Lord of the Rings, then this mod here is the extended edition. It's still the Lord of the Rings, but just a few more, well not a few more, like quite a lot more extra minutes in there of film time, and it just like, it fills in the gaps, it completes it, makes it bigger and a much better experience. Number 8. Lanjane's Barbarian Empires, and I do really like this mod. It's like Extended Cultures, loads of separate campaigns. It's even got a Britain campaign and a First Punic War Sicily campaign as well, which I really want to do a Let's Play on someday. And like all the other mods, it's just sort of like an expansion, but, adding new units, new map stuff, all of that. Overall, a good mod. I personally would have placed this one higher. I do quite like this mod. I've done a few AI-only time-lapses on it as well. Number 7 is another mod that I have covered on my channel quite a bit. The World War II mod. This of course brings the Second World War into Rome Total War. Second World War units, and I personally would have put this mod higher. I'm really impressed with the units, how it's got aircraft, battleships and guns in Rome Total War. Very impressive with that. The campaign also seems quite good as well, but it is of course a bit unstable at times, given that it is a Second World War mod, it's like a full global map. But I'm sure with more work and bug fixes that will of course, it will run smoothly as all these other mods kind of do. Number 6. This is a mod I haven't tried, but I've been meaning to look into. Bronze Age Total War. So yeah, that's basically all I've got to say. It's quite self-explanatory, it's Total War set in the Bronze Age, and I want to cover it someday. I haven't downloaded it yet, but I do plan to in a few weeks. I'll probably do like a live stream of it, that could be fun. So yeah, number 6, you all put the Bronze Age. Number 5, right in the middle. This is Greek mod made by Amazef, and it's like my Lord of the Rings thing again. It's just like, it is Rome Total War, but just extended, just slightly. In this mod, Amazef has reworked almost every single faction just a tiny bit to make the game feel fresh. Some factions have a couple of new units, and some factions have been completely overhauled. For example, the Greek city-states now holds land in Crimea, in Massilia, in the Iberian coast, to make them more historically accurate. Also, Egypt is no longer Bronze Age Egypt, but it's actually now a historical Hellenistic Egypt. So yeah, it's basically just Rome Total War, but it adds a few units into some factions, and makes the Greek and Middle Eastern side of the world a bit more historically accurate. Oh, it also unites the Roman Empire as well. Overall, I think this is like the perfect first mod. Like, you know, if you've never had a mod before, your only experience is playing Rome Total War, and you think, you know what, I want to try a mod. Just something very simple, something that I'm familiar with. Greek mod is like the perfect segue into the modding world. So I do highly advise this one. Number 4, Darth mod. You've heard of this guy in many other Total Wars, and especially I think he's done Empire Total War Darth mod, Napoleon Total War Darth mod, which is brilliant by the way, and I believe he came back and did Rome 2 Total War Darth mod, but I can't remember exactly. Yeah, it's more just adding some units in, making quality of life improvements and a load of bug fixes. That's what he usually seems to do. I think he did a bit more work in the Rome Total War one. I've never actually played the Darth mod, but I thought I'll put it on this list, and many of you did like it and you ranked it quite highly. Number 3. Now, I don't know if this is here because it's a good mod, or because people like the Lord of the Rings. 4th Age Total War. So we've of course got the 3rd Age Total War and 3rd Age DAC for Medieval 2, but what a lot of people don't know is that there's a Lord of the Rings mod for Rome Total War set in the 4th Age, just after the One Ring's been destroyed and all that. And again, I've never actually played this one, but that doesn't matter because this is the community's opinion, so yeah, I can get away with having no knowledge at all in this video. Many of you did rank it highly, however, I don't really hear that much praise towards this mod. It gets swept under the rug a bit. So maybe it got ranked this high because it had Lord of the Rings in the brackets next to it. I don't know. Of course it is a good mod, and I'm not trying to discredit the modders, but I'm actually surprised the mod made it this high, and usually if you just put Lord of the Rings in brackets next to it, it's going to go up like 3 or 4 places. Number 1 and 2, we can probably predict these. Number 2 is Roma Surructum. Of course this is coming very highly on the list. It is a full conversion mod, which adds more detail to the map, makes the map bigger, brings in features from the expansions Barbarian Invasion and Alexander Total War, redoes the unit models, unit icons, faction icons, all of that stuff. Overall, it's just a good overhaul mod. And that's also what first place is, but first place is by far more popular. Europa Barbarorum. And this does exactly the same thing. Bigger map, more detail on everything, more historical accuracy as well, a full Total War conversion. And both of these mods are set roughly within the same time frame as Rome Total War. So it's like if we look at Vanilla Enhanced and Greek mod, and like compare it to the Lord of the Rings as I was talking about earlier, they're like the extended edition. These two mods here are a Netflix series that comes later, just completely redoes it from scratch. And then I guess World War II mod is The Hobbit, I don't know. But yeah, that is the top 10 mods ranked by the community. Now there's many other mods that should have been here, I think, that are quite good, but you know, people didn't suggest them originally, so they were not put on this list. I'm going to mention them now, and these are going to be linked down below as well, because they do deserve some credit. So what do we have? RTR Platinum. This one is apparently very popular, according to the guy who sent me this information, but you know, no one actually suggested it in my Discord, so yeah, I couldn't add it onto the list. Extended Greek mod, which is like the most popular vanilla style mod. I guess it's very similar to a Greek mod, but just taking it like that little bit further. Diadochi Total War, which is set after Alexander the Great's death and how his empire was split up. And two on here that I'm not even done a big game to pronounce. I've never even heard of them, so I'm not even going to talk about them. The links will be linked down below if you want to check them out and see what they're about. I've got no idea. So yeah, that is everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more, like if you did enjoy. Don't get too mad at me, be mad at the community. It was their votes after all. I'm going to do a very similar video for Medieval 2 Total War mod someday, and it will be done in a very similar way. So if there's a particular mod that you think deserves a bit more love, then be on my Discord. I'm ready for when I do ask for some mod ideas. I've been MELKOR. Goodbye.